students are known, valued, and empowered to thrive. Are there any additional items for the agenda? Okay, if there is none, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Tim Burke, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Laurel Size. Any other questions or discussion? If no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. What do we got, everybody here? 7-0?
Mhm.
Okay. Recognition of visitors in open forum. It looks like we have Michael Roy from the Janesville Journal, and then Marlene. Welcome.
Yeah, we're still doing that. You can do it off of this if you want.
No, there aren't any.
Nope, none, so, any positive notes or anything? Positive recognition?
Our building looks great, so thanks to the custodians for getting that ready for the school year, and that we're ready as new staff started coming in today.
Okay,
And I'll recognize Eric Dashner. He got casted in a, I don't know if that's the right word or not,
Yeah.
but in another play in Mankato Playhouse.
and the marching band is getting all set to go to the state fair in a week. I know that. They've been marching around town practicing, so good luck to them.
Is it easier if you do it out there?
I'm fine. Anything else?
And volleyball has their first home game on Thursday evening.
Okay. All right. Moving on to number 8, reports and presentations. Student representatives report.
Sherry,
Yeah.
are you gonna do the resolution accepting donations?
There is
There
none.
aren't
Oh,
any.
okay, I get it.
Otherwise, I would.
Okay. I didn't open it up.
Yep,
but,
no, there weren't any in there.
okay.
There is, I think there's a music camp from Becky Bornicki that's going on right now. Sports are getting started to actually have games. School starts in about 2 weeks, which is really soon. Oh gosh. It's probably, yeah, then marching band goes to state fair. That's all I have, I think.
You excited to be a senior this year?
A mixture of emotions. Excited, but a little nervous. Bittersweet.
Yeah.
Enjoy it, it goes fast.
Yes, it does.
I know.
All right, any questions for Maddie? Okay, then we'll move on to 8B, superintendent report.
I did, as you know, we've been talking with the Mayo Clinic building across the street. So, I was given some more information about that, so I'll be calling a special session, or a special meeting next week to be able to fill the school board in on that information as I put it all together. As far as buildings and grounds, the roof is finished, or the roof will be finished the first week of school. It is watertight, and it's, everything is done on the roof except for the steel. That will be going over the top of it. And then solar will be, coming in September. The painting of the track got completed last night. The concrete steps have been added from the lower parking lot, with the handrail to come, so they're still working on the handrail for it. And then, the concrete bollards that we have been working on getting ready to go in front of the school. We sent a picture to the state fire marshal prior to securing them down, and he vetoed it, saying we cannot have them that close to the school. They'd have to be out by the curb, so we're looking at other options for that. As far as events and activities happening, this week, volleyball has their first match on Thursday night. football has a scrimmage here on Saturday. The huddle camera was replaced down at the football stadium, and that's ready to go. Family passes for activities this year will be digital. SPX is gonna be here on Monday, and they're gonna go through the wall wraps and be bringing in some Hall of Fame posters and everything for us to look at. As far as fall activities, we have 7 students signed up for fall cheer. We have 10 students signed up for boys and girls cross country. We have 36 students signed up for volleyball, 36 students 9 through 12 signed up for volleyball, and 20 junior high students signed up for volleyball. We have 48 students signed up for football, 9 through 12, and 26 signed up for junior high football. So our numbers there look good. Community education, we passed our licensing inspection that we have to do each year for our daycare and Kids Corner program, so that we passed that with no citations, so that was good. Samantha's looking into additional programmings and courses for community education, and she met with Andrea Kronbach last week to discuss increasing a partnership with the county. And then in the business office, it's start of audit season. And then we're excited for Lunchtime Solutions getting on site and setting up. And that Murray Gustafson is the new food service director for them within our building. We have a number of things that we're looking at in HR with the organizational chart and an impact analysis for decision making. And then the principals are busy with new teachers. They started today, so we've had 7 new staff in the building today. In the high school, they're finalizing some information about the attendance policy. And prior to walking in here, Mr. Rysam and I were talking about the cell phone policy also and how that's evolving. And with technology, we have the security cameras should be in place for the first week of school. We just had a little bit of a setback on some orders for them, but that should be done. Director of Teaching and Learning, her and 2 other staff are at facilitator training this week, so they can start training our staff here. And within the special education world, we no longer have an assistant director. More of those assistant director tasks are going to be put on our case facilitators. So it's been busy around here. Any questions for me?
Are the bollards required?
They're not required. We were just, they were recommended by law enforcement in case anybody tried to drive through the front door. That would stop them. So they aren't required. But, so we'll see how we're gonna move forward with them.
No concerns about plowing snow, having bollards out there?
That's why we had them set back farther closer to the door,
Mm.
is so they wouldn't be an obstruction when they're plowing snow. But if we do put them out on the curb, we'd have to get a lot more of them, and then that would be an obstruction for plowing snow. So,
And you think it's worth getting them?
I'm not convinced it's worth getting them now, since the state fire marshal said you can't put them that close, they have to be out on the curb. So,
What was the reason why they have to be out so far?
they have to be out so it doesn't impede people leaving the building. So it has to get out to the curb, or to the sidewalk right away.
Okay.
Again, I just question whether you need them,
Yeah.
you know, how it looks, you know, a welcoming environment versus, you know, bollards out there. I'm not sure I understand the need for them.
Right. understand that we don't want somebody possibly driving their car into our building. However,
Well, again, we had somebody drive into our building, you know, again, they could crash right through the offices.
right,
So I'm not sure how you're gonna, you know, if they just drive in where the doorway is,
Mhm.
you know, so what?
yeah.
Again, just seems like an overreach.
Nope, I would agree with that. So we'll see if we even, how we move forward with those. If we move forward with them at all.
Okay.
So Jeremy, just a couple questions. How are we coming with safe routes to school stuff?
Safe routes to school, all of the concrete and asphalt that's on our property is done, except about an 18-inch area between the two where they have to connect them yet. So that's all done. Their goal is that to have everything done and completed and out of here by the 24th. So by the end of the week, to have all the dirt put back in and grass seed in,
On our property?
on our property.
Okay. Were they, we talked about this and I just don't remember the whole conversation, but are they putting up signs on that to where it's like, said it states no motorized vehicles and that
Yeah,
stuff, right?
we requested that they put signs up with no motorized vehicles. Because the day before they poured the asphalt, there were 3 different cars that drove down there.
Mhm. Well, it's just not cars, you've got the side-by-sides and the golf
Yeah.
carts and mopeds and.
Electric bikes,
Yeah.
is that considered?
It is not an electric bike.
But, okay, I was just,
Scooters.
Anything else for Jeremy?
Is there a railing going in on the stairs between the two parking lots?
Yes, there will be. They're designing it now that they know what the concrete looks like.
when you were talking about the security cameras, did we, the ones, they've gotten the ones for the football field and underneath the bleachers?
You can see everything, you can see under the bleachers and everything from the parking lot cameras now.
Okay.
And you
Okay.
can see, we can see all the way down to the track shed. And we're still waiting for some special electrical boxes to finish putting the ones on the concession stand.
Okay.
But
What about the opposing team? Is there anything over there?
on that sidelines, no, there's not. Not at this time, but we're looking at other options of where we could add them if need be.
Anything else? Okay, thank you. We will move on to budget information and the enrollment update.
So here's our enrollment. Right now, we budgeted for 645 for this year. Total enrollment. Hold on. Wendy, is this the same sheet we've always used?
I
Yeah,
added a
it's-
row up
Okay.
at the top to include our early childhood special education, because that figure counts in on our ADM. So those are preschoolers, birth to 5, that receive services. So I put that in italics, because they're not getting double counted they're within the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. But those don't count towards our ADM, the ECSE does, so those 11 students are in that 631 total. So we are a little short from what we were budgeting, based on some projections and estimations. But I'm assured that these last couple weeks, there's always a handful of more enrollments, so I'll hopefully see that number go up a little bit. But our total ADM is at 683, is what they'll base a lot of funding on, so we'll keep an eye on it and adjust as needed.
So ECSE is
early childhood special education.
But the pre-K is,
So the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds are just any student enrolled in our Kids Corner program. And then ECSE are children birth to kindergarten who receive special education services. So some of them are in our preschool, some of them are home visits, some of them pop in, have some services done.
So are they double
But-
counted?
Nope,
but so that's everything, right? ECSE through 12,
Yes.
right.
but pre-K through 12, there's more?
Because we can't count these
Less.
first 3 rows, because we don't get state funding for them.
So they're not in the pre-K, or they are in the pre-K, but they're not in the ECSE one?
Correct.
Okay, got it. That's why I was confused. I was like, seems like that should be lower, but, okay.
Has the 7th grade always been that small, or did we lose a bunch of kids to where we're only at 34 kids? That seems awful low. Cause I thought, didn't they have 3 classes last year for 6th grade?
No, they only had
That's
2.
fifth grade.
So
Fifth grade's
last
always
year, at the end of the
3.
year, they had 38,
Okay, so it's down a little.
down a little bit, yep.
Do we know how many we got from the Trinity rollover to 9th grade?
I didn't count those last year,
There was
8th grade.
52, or let me see where we're at.
49 at the end of the year. 49 8th graders at the end.
49 8th graders, and now this year we're at 56. I don't think all 7 of them are from Trinity, but a handful.
Any other questions on that? Okay, we'll move on to historical cash balances. Any questions for Wendy?
You'll just see our year-end payout of all the things for the end of the fiscal year dip in July, but we're on trend with our other years.
Okay. Thank you. Committee reports. Policy committee meeting. We,
I wasn't there, so I'll let you guys talk.
there is a big list, and you'll see at the end of the agenda, a lot to approve. There is probably that amount, probably to do from now till the end of the year, each month. They hit us with a lot of, more updates. A lot of them are, legislative changes, so, that's why they're kind of listed as non-substantial, changes. And I know the attendance policy is still being looked at.
Yep.
And was the technology one too?
For cell phones?
No. Oh, maybe that, no, I thought it was something else. Okay. So, there are a couple that you're still talking with other staff and faculty about, right?
Yeah, it's, wasn't technology, it was attendance. And then the other one was cell phone.
Okay. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. Gotta find my document here, and I'll do a summary of the superintendent evaluation. Where did it go? All right. Okay, during a closed session on July 15th, 2024, the JWP School Board evaluated the 2022 to 2024 performance of Superintendent Jeremy Erler. 4 goals were discussed along with various other items. The superintendent will Goal 1, the superintendent will communicate with the school board. Jeremy created a weekly update email that is sent to all school board members. Goal number 2, the superintendent will look at and make appropriate changes to the district's current job descriptions, human resource procedures, and pay equity. Jeremy consulted with growth operators to do a comparable job worth study that was used during recent negotiations. This was a great initiative on Jeremy's part as it helped the negotiation committee as well as Jeremy and his team during the negotiations. Goal number 3, the superintendent will work with the administration team to create an onboarding process for the different positions in the JWP school district. Jeremy and other staff members created onboarding and offboarding processes along with direct report evaluations. He has designated mentors for new employees, and he keeps updating this form to make it easier to use. Goal number 4, the superintendent will work with his staff to create expectations for behaviors happening in the school. Jeremy has worked with the principals on behavior expectations and has hired a behavioral interventionist. There are still a few behavior issues, and Jeremy has been holding accountability to a high standard. Other issues were discussed. Other issues that were discussed include new expectations, staffing changes, and holding students and staff accountable for their actions. The board is happy with Jeremy's performance. He will work towards meeting his new goals and continue to address the previous goals. Okay, any thoughts on that? Okay. What's that?
No, other than that he just got his new goals to review, so we.
Oh, yep, he just got a list of the new goals sent by everybody, so that he can work on picking new goals for the 24-25 school year. Okay. One of the things with the reason why I had changed it to 22, 20 to 24 was because we did not do one kind of in the middle. It's just been the same long continuous one. So instead of kind of skipping a year, it's been the same goals for the last 2 years. So that's how the evaluation was named. So then we can start fresh in 2024. All right. Number 9, approval of the consent agenda. So are there any clarifying questions for the consent agenda?
Annika did update the personnel staff changes, so she gave everybody a copy of those.
Did you guys get a copy of that?
Yeah. Tim's got it. I don't know.
Gonna pass that down to Kevin,
Okay.
so he can review it.
Kevin.
Is this a good time to ask what we have for openings now, based off this? Or later discussion?
Right now, we have a behavior interventionist opening. We have a evening custodian opening, and then we have a number of paraprofessional openings.
How many's a number?
We just had one resign today, so there's probably, 5 between elementary, high school.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Motion made by Tim Burke. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Laura Size. All those any other discussion? If no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. On to number 10, the strategic plan progress.
So, this is really small, but I sent this out. I'm working with my mentor to create SMART goals and whatnot with my staff for the strategic plan. So, I have a draft operations, form that I use, and then we use that, or operations plan that I use, and then we use that plan to create the SMART goals for our strategic plan. So when I meet with my staff each week, or every other week individually, we talk about the SMART goals and the things that they're working on in order to help get to the, our strategic plan goals. So this is just an example of the goals. It's color coded, there's timelines, that we're working on here at school. A lot of it is Casey and my work. However, Casey and I delegate the work to others. So we're ultimately, I'm ultimately responsible for the whole strategic plan. However, I've designated some people to work on certain things. I'm taking the lead on certain things. So, and I'll keep the board updated as we continue making progress on our strategic plan and the goals that we're working towards.
Any questions on that? It's good that you have a document and it's always at the forefront.
Will you be, are you doing future goals, or are you just stopping at 24, 25 right now? Or are you guys going to be working on?
On my operational plan, I have them through 20, 24, 25, 25, 26, 26, 27.
Okay,
I have them through there. However, we're just, as the admin group, we're going through 24, 25 right now.
oh, okay, that's
And then
fine.
we'll- Then we'll evaluate where we are in June to set our goals for 25, 26.
Okay.
Any other questions? Comments? Okay. Moving on to old business. So we have approval of policy 524.1, the cell phone use policy.
This is a hot topic with MSBA, with high school principals, with the elementary principals throughout the state. We've received a number of letters and emails about what other schools are doing, and there's schools that are gonna be handling it the same way we are in this policy. There's schools that are completely taking cell phones away, or not allowing them at all. And there's some schools that aren't doing anything about them. Talking with Mr. Rysdam today, he'd like to move forward with the way this policy is written. However, he does think that it will get to the point where we eventually ban cell phones from the building. So they'll have to be in their locker or in the office. They won't be allowed on the students or anything during the day. However, at this time, until he has more information, he would like to move forward with the current policy that's here.
So when you say he thinks it'll eventually get that way, you think during the school year it just won't work the way it is? Or he's saying that he's debating whether to take it away completely at this point?
I think he feels like he's gonna do his absolute best to make sure this works, but he thinks giving an inch, allowing them to have it between classes and at lunch, that they're gonna have to do so many constant reminders that they're gonna end up banning them in the end. Is that the way you understood it, Annika?
So what information does he think he's gonna receive that will change his mind? You know, you said he's waiting until he has more information.
He's just
What what information is he
He
waiting on?
has all the information, he just wants to put it all together at once, or have it all together, and then present that to his staff to see how it's gonna go. But he's confident that we'll be revisiting this in another 2 or 3 months.
Okay,
Will he be communicating to the students the new
He's-
policy and
He's
then,
meeting with all students, all staff about the policy.
and making them aware
And
that
making
it
them aware
will
if-
change if
If
they
this
do not
doesn't work,
follow?
everything will be banned. So it will ultimately fall back on them.
Mhm. Yeah, part of me says let's just do it now, but a part of me says let them
well, we
prove
gave him that
whether-
option.
yeah.
We tried to give Mr. Rysdam the option that we would take the brunt of it and just be done. And I'm a little surprised he isn't taking that, because, again, I think where we're gonna end up as staff is gonna be a challenge, even more than the students. So, you know, why even go there? You know, I'm just afraid in a couple of months, there's gonna be, you know, heads butting that we could avoid by just eliminating cell phones from the get-go.
Did he reach out to staff to see?
He hasn't met with all of them yet. He's met with a few of them, and they're mixed on it.
Are they mixed, or have more concerns about having to have the phones in a place in their classroom, and they just don't like to have to be responsible for that? I wish they didn't even
Their
come
big
then.
thing is they don't wanna, the ones that are against it don't wanna have to deal with them at all, whether they're putting them in their pouches in their classroom or not, cause they don't wanna have to take on that, for lack of better terms, battle with the student, cause that's what it comes down to.
So does that mean there are some staff that want to be able to do it this way? There's support for just putting them in their
There are
classrooms?
some.
They're like, this is what we want to do.
There are some that are okay with doing it that way, and there are others that aren't.
And the ones that are okay doing it that way, are they also open to just eliminating them?
Well,
In
I
other
think-
words, are there teachers arguing for the fact that they need the phones to be part of their classrooms?
No,
Okay.
not that he's made me aware of, at least.
And like we talked about, for providing Chromebooks,
Right.
I'm not sure why a cell phone would be needed.
Would you have a decent plan to be able to keep them out of classrooms and location for them, to check them in and a process for that? A
Not at-
space, anything?
Not at this time, no.
Yeah.
In their lockers, but our
Right.
lockers don't have locks.
Right.
So then you're running into that issue.
Yeah.
And did you ever figure out that website, like certain websites are blocked about like medical things for health classes?
Right.
Because that's like one reason I could think to use a phone, is some websites are blocked that we
Right.
need for school.
And if you need them, we can unblock those specific websites.
Mhm.
So you're looking for approval of this policy then,
We're
Yep.
look-
as
yep.
written?
Yep. Do I have a motion to approve the policy 524.1 as it is written?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Tim Burke. Do I have a second?
I'll
Oh,
second.
go ahead.
Seconded by Joni Olson. Is there any further discussion?
And Jeremy, you are suggesting you're in favor of just moving forward with this for now? You're
Yeah.
not suggesting we do something different?
I'm suggesting, or I'm recommending we move forward with this now and then make changes if we need to.
So if we do make changes, let's say in a month or two, is it 3 readings again?
It doesn't have to be 3 readings. We can
Okay.
do 1 reading. We can consider it an emergency policy change, and we got 1 year to do it. So we have 1 year to make permanent changes in it.
Okay.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. On to new business. Approve the food service pricing for the 24-25 school year.
The state is reimbursing, so all students are getting free meals. However, it's only the second year of that policy, and who knows how long or short that will continue to be. And so the state still wants us to set meal prices and not charge students for them. So that's why there are prices for the student breakfasts and lunches. And then the adult prices are the state minimum. We can charge more, but in talking with Brian at Lunchtime Solutions, these prices he feels are appropriate for second entrees and for the adult meals.
I would make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Kevin Bourne. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Tim Burke. Is there any other discussion?
I just have a question. Are the adult meals, do they get more than the 7 through 12 students? No?
Yeah, the serving sizes are a little different.
Oh, they are?
Mhm,
Okay.
And they're not reimbursable by the government, so.
Got it. Okay. I was just curious.
Okay. If no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. 12B, approve the South Central Services Cooperative Membership Agreement.
Sorry, this is crooked. This is how it was sent to us on the piece of paper. So for being a member of the South Central Service Cooperative, there is a fee to it. The fee is $1,092.30. So this is just an agreement that, for our membership with them.
I would make a motion to approve.
Motion by Kevin Bourne. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Laura Size. Is there any further discussion? If no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. Approve proposed non-certified substitute rate of pay.
So typically, our non-certified substitute pay is 90% of what starting pay is. We did not have an increase last year because of, we did not have contracts settled. So our this would be, our current proposal would be the last column for 24-25 school year.
I'll make a motion to approve
Okay.
as stated.
Motion made by Laura Size. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Tim Elke, was that you?
Sure.
Okay. Seconded by Tim Elke. Is there any further discussion? If no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. All right.
The fun part.
Yeah.
I thought we could put these under consent, couldn't we?
With non-substantial, we could.
Yes, we could, and we will next month.
Okay.
Okay.
Should've said something.
I know, I
Friday.
didn't
know.
think about it until earlier, yeah.
So the majority of the changes on these, I think we determined they were all from legislature.
They're all legislative changes. So, in equal educational opportunity, they requested that we take out the word unlawfully.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve policy 102,
I'll make a motion to approve 102.
I'll second.
Motion by Tim Burke, seconded by Laura Size. Is there any further discussion? If no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0.
This is the one, the mission statement.
Did you put it in there?
Mhm.
Okay. This one was just adding our new mission statement to it.
Yep.
So do I have a motion to approve policy 104?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. Policy 204, school meeting minutes. This one had to do with the legislature too, about,
The whether we had a newspaper, school newspaper, a community newspaper that we use. We currently use it, have one, so, this would just be if we didn't have one, they put a clause in there.
Make a motion to approve.
motion by Kevin
Second.
Burke, second by Tim Burke. Is there any further discussion? No further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. Policy 207, public hearings.
This just states that you no longer have to list your address if you're addressing the school board. You just have to list your name.
Do they have to verify they're from the district, though? Or does that matter?
No, it doesn't say
Or
that.
not? Just curious.
Just says that we can't request their address.
Any other questions? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve policy 207?
So moved.
Motion by Laura Size, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Joni Olson. Is there any other discussion? If no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. Approval of policy 413. And that was the only change?
Yep.
And that's how the legislature defines the familial status,
Yep.
so. Do I have a motion to approve, policy 413?
So moved.
Motion by Laura Size, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Joni Olson. Is there any discussion? If no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. Policy 416.
Here they just added a section, the Minnesota legislature added a section on oral fluid tests, so a saliva test for, cannabis.
Any questions? Do I have a motion to approve policy 416, drug and alcohol testing?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Kevin Burke, seconded by Laura Size.
Tim Burke and so Laura Size.
Oh my goodness.
We knew what you meant.
It's a Monday.
These are long.
I
It's
wasn't gonna
repetitive.
correct you.
It's a Monday.
Kevin
You know,
can have it.
Annika's got the She's got it.
As long as she's got it, that's all that matters, right?
You following?
Oh, yeah.
Is there any other discussion? I should just keep my mouth shut. If no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. All right, policy 418. So another legislative update.
Yep. I am getting a little bit of clarification from Terry Morrow on this, whether this includes students that are open enrolled to our district or not, as to whether we could have refused enrollment. Him and I have been playing phone tag.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve policy 418?
So moved.
I'll
Oh,
second.
they're saying it at the same time.
I'll second.
now.
Well, male and female, it shouldn't be that hard this time.
Oh, we both said so moved at the same
Oh.
time.
Is there any
You
further
choose.
discussion? If no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. Policy 419, tobacco-free environment.
They added a section for American Indians where they could, or American Indian students or staff members may use tobacco, sage, sweetgrass, or cedar to conduct individual or group smudging in public schools. So for those that don't know what smudging is, it's the way that they do, or smoke their tobacco, sage, sweetgrass, and cedar for a religious ceremony.
Are you even allowed to ask for their background or like proof that they are?
Yeah, we would have to be able to.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve policy?
Is that not true? Oh, okay, I didn't know if you.
What?
Further,
I pulled it up if you want me to say it. Smudging. Never mind, go ahead.
oh, no, I was just wondering if you're allowed to ask if they're American Indian to allow them to follow that part of the policy.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Good question.
Did you have further one?
So again, this, I mean, we don't need to discuss it, forget it, it's not important.
Okay, a motion made by Tim Burke, seconded by Laura Size. Is there any discussion? If no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. All right, final policy. 425, staff development.
Adding that we have to have a minimum of 6 hours for paraprofessional testing, or paraprofessionals prior to the school year starting. And then there is testing material, and that the district pays any testing fees to make sure that they are highly qualified.
And we do have funding for that, so.
Should this be part of the interview process? Or is it after they're hired?
It's part of the interview process, whether they're highly qualified or not.
Okay, any other questions? If not, do I have a motion to approve policy 525? 425?
So moved.
Motion by Laura Size, do I have a second?
Second?
Second by Joni Olson. Any discussion? If no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. Okay, so approval to move into negotiations with Superintendent Erler for the July 1st, 25 to July 30, 28 contract.
Put this in there, we'll start negotiation for teachers and non-certified again this spring. I'm in my final contract of my year, starting to write my goals for this year. Would just like to get contract settled for starting in July of 25 through 28. So it's done with, over with, before we get into teacher and non-certified negotiations. This will be the first time that I've done this, and I guess in talking with MSBA, there's a number of different ways to do it. They recommended that the certified negotiation team that we use for teachers would be the team that I would work with on it.
So with that, it would be a motion to approve for the certified negotiation committee to start working with Jeremy on his next contract.
I'll make a motion to approve that the certified negotiation team enter into negotiations with Superintendent Earler for July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2028 contract.
Okay, do I have a second?
A second.
Second by Joni Olson. Is there any discussion? If no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. All right, upcoming meetings. September 9th, 5:30 is a Finance and Operations Committee meeting. September 16th is a regular school board meeting at 5:30. October 7th, a study session for the school board at 5:30. And October 21st at 5:30, another regular school board meeting. So with that, we are adjourned at 6:22.